Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. A little surprise afternoon show for you guys and gals, as obviously the announcement was made. Jordan Love is your NFC Offensive Player of the Week after that performance in Pittsburgh. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to dive into Colin Cowherd. I'm sure you've heard that name before, right? A guy who's been in sports talk as long as I can remember. You either love him or you hate him, right? It seems like there's nothing in between. He's been very critical of the Packers in the past, especially around the Aaron Rodgers decision when they decided to move on. And he's been kind of hot and cold on Jordan Love, this and that. And there seems to be a lot of conversation going on at the moment of people across, social media, just really any YouTube show you tune into that talks about Jordan Love is he elite? Is he one of the upper echelon quarterbacks? Everybody – Packer fans aren't very surprised by what happened on Sunday night in Pittsburgh, right? We've kind of seen it. You've seen the highs. You've seen the lows. You see what he's capable of doing. And then it just seemed like on a national stage. Now, I don't want to use the word casuals, but the people who don't tune into Packers games that often, they're starting to see like, holy cow, dude, some of the plays he was making, the command he had over the offense, the lack of mistakes in the entire game, the fact that him and Matt LaFleur were just lockstep in the game plan was absolutely awesome. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to hear what Colin Cowherd had to say about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers offense. Before we do, if you guys would, do that YouTube stuff for me. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your afternoon. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're fans just like you talking Packers on the daily. So make sure you click subscribe, hit like, and make sure you click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live like this randomly throughout the day. As well, we're going to be live this evening, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We're going to dive into all of the early numbers in terms of the Packers and the Panthers. If you guys tuned in last night, we did a film breakdown of the Steelers game, the top 14 plays of that game that we thought were most important. If you guys want to go back and watch that, you can actually just click on the YouTube channel here. Make sure you subscribe, and you'll see there's a playlist that says Green Bay Packers Film Breakdown. We do all that every single week as well. So we appreciate y'all making us a part of your afternoon. Let's waste no more time, and let's just jump right in. Well, let me give a shout out to a couple people in the chat. I see Cam in the house. Said he's delivering for Amazon. He's listening. Appreciate you, Cam. Safe travels out there, buddy. Appreciate you getting those packages out to the rightful owners for sure. We got Dennis Shook in the house. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you swinging through, buddy. You're the man. We got Holmes MD1 said, "What the hell's going on over here?" I think we've got a soundbite for you there. I'm sure we can find that. Let's just here you go. The request, total request line here on the afternoon show for sure. We got Jordan Love himself in the house. Jordan Love 45 says, "Hello, Clayton. Appreciate you swinging through, Jordan. Appreciate it, Pookie. Hit that like button for us." And Taylor Bell in the house. What's up, Clayton? What's up, Taylor? Hope you're having an awesome day. Let's dive into it, guys. Let's see what Colin Cowherd had to say about Jordan Love in his most recent performance. Obviously, I think he's with Fox Sports now. This video came out on Twitter. I think they posted on their account, so you can go give it a like, all that good stuff. Here is Colin Cowherd on Jordan Love.
So I saw a headline this morning, "Up and Coming Jordan Love Stars," as the Packers beat the Steelers. Jordan Love second half on the road, standalone game against maybe a Hall of Fame coach and a veteran defense. That's as good a second half in that spot as Favre and Rodgers had. He is elite.
Wait a minute, what did he just say? Did he just say that's as good a second half in that specific spot as Rodgers or Favre ever had? Think about that, guys. You're talking about someone who just took over in the second half. The stats are showing on the screen, 16 of 19 in the second half. 214 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. His passer rating in the second half, when the money was on the table, you were trailing coming out of halftime, his passer rating was 148.7. Just absolute clutch play by Jordan Love in the second half.
Arm, size, mobility, accuracy, combine that with Matt LaFleur's play design and the Green Bay smart front office. This is going to be a Super Bowl capable winning team for the next 5 years minimum. And last night was very instructive for NFL fans. I watched a game between the Packers and the Steelers, and I saw smart and progressive and offensively nimble from one franchise, and then I also watched the Steelers. I mean, these are two franchises going in the opposite direction with the opposite ideology. Aaron Rodgers has done a good job to put some makeup on this organization, but they need a facelift. Two iconic franchises. One of them has embraced offense. One as an old quarterback, one as a young star. One is loaded with young talent at wide receiver and tight end. The other spends a fortune on defense. It's revolutionary against the Rust Belt. As Steelers spend all that money on defense, why do they tackle so poorly? And for the record, Las Vegas sees it. You know who's favored to win the AFC North this morning? The 2-5 Baltimore Ravens.
Think about that. How are you not even leading the division currently? You've only got 2 wins, but you're still picked to win your division. That's absolutely wild.
You can't fool Vegas. And you can see it in the Steelers' mentality. First half, 4th and 3. Let's kick a field goal. That's not it, man. That's not it.
That's not it when Jordan Love's on the other sideline. That's for sure, man. So, again, that was Colin Cowherd via Fox Sports talking about Jordan Love. And my question to you guys, and I want to give a shout-out to our good friend Carson Caldwell on X. He had put a tweet out with a picture of Jordan Love and said, genuine question, if Jordan Love isn't top 5 right now, what more does he have to do there to get there? And think about that question, guys. What does Jordan Love have to do to be considered a top 5 quarterback? I mean, we've seen the back half of 2023 where he was hands down the best quarterback in the entire league. What was it, like 19 touchdowns, 1 interception? He just went absolutely off. He hurts his knee, tears his, I think it was his MCL in week 1 in Brazil on that horrible turf against the Eagles. And then he dealt with that knee injury all year long wearing a brace, right? The knee injury led to a groin injury. So now he had a knee injury and a groin injury. Then he suffers an elbow injury, which was causing some numbness in the hand at the time. So he's dealt with all 3 of those. And in the process, he still leads his team while playing hurt all year long, leads his team to the playoffs, right? And in my opinion, he gave the Eagles the best run for their money in the playoffs last year. I felt like the Packers played the Eagles better than anyone across the entire NFL in terms of playoffs. So I'm with you, Carson. I understand what you're saying, man. I don't know what else he's got to do. I mean, let me just show you guys one throw here real quick. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but this is the play to Christian Watson, okay? And by the way, like I said at the top of the show here, Jordan Love is the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for Week 8, 78.4 completion percentage, 360 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and a 134.2 passer rating. All, keep in mind, on the road in Pittsburgh against the highest paid defense in the league at the time of that Week 8 matchup, right? Now, let me just show you this play. This is the things that he can do that other players can't do. So you see they're in a sidecar right here, right? And we showed this play on Chalk Talk last night. I really highly recommend you go back and watch it. You can watch it in its entirety. Just click on the video tab or just go to our playlist and look for Green Bay Packer Film Breakdown. Look at Jordan pointing right now, guys. You see him. He's pointing, right? See him pointing off the screen. He's pointing to Christian Watson. You're going to see him go to his helmet, see him tap his helmet. He's telling Watson, give me a post, right? And there was supposed to be a dig from Matthew Golden underneath that as well. So Jordan sees something in the coverage where I think he's identifying this safety is going to really bite down on this dig. If he does, I think what he's telling Christian Watson to do is give me a post route. If the safety stays at home, I'll hammer it to Matthew Golden. If the safety clamps down on Matthew Golden, the way that we talked about defenses did against Jaden Reed in the back half of 2024, if that happens, then I'm going to go over the top to scoot. That's exactly what happens. But I want you to key in on the throw itself, guys. So he changes the play there, right? Back to pass, immediate pressure in the A gap here. Listen, Josh Jacobs did what he could. He's still battling that calf injury too. The blitzer comes through. Jordan has to scramble. And then across his body, look at that. Look at the body, guys. Look at the direction his body's tilted in. Across his body, drops it right in the freaking bucket. Over an under defender, right underneath the safety. What you're seeing there, guys, from Jordan Love is you're seeing a player, you're seeing a quarterback who has complete command over the offense, comes to the line, sees a certain look, knows the play, everything about the play that's called. All right, check. Give me a post over here. Ball snapped up. Already off. We're already off schedule. Immediate pressure in my face. That's all right. I've got the legs. I've got the athletic ability. I'm going to roll right, throw off my back foot across my body, drop it in over top of a rat defender underneath the guy, that was covering in man coverage, not the safety, but the man cover guy. So it's just what you're seeing is elite arm talent. And what's crazy is Colin Cowherd isn't the only person that's recognizing this too. This was on First Take. This next clip was on First Take. This was Chris Canty. Okay, some of you may be going, Colin Cowherd never played football. What the hell does he know? I completely understand. I can respect that opinion. Chris Canty played defensive line in the National Football League, right? So let me show you what Chris Canty said about Jordan Love on First Take. Here we go.
Lead the Packers to the Super Bowl this year?
Absolutely. I completely wholeheartedly agree with what Damian Woody said. It was clear on Sunday night that the Green Bay Packers have got a gear that most teams in the NFL can't get to, right? You saw Jordan Love turn it on in that second half, completing 20 straight passes.
20 straight completions, guys. 20 straight.
Tying a franchise record. I hear what you're saying.
Against the highest paid Steelers defense, by the way. It's amazing how last year, people talked about the Steelers defense was good, right? TJ Watt is elite. He's all world. Now, all of a sudden, when the Packers do something good against the Steelers, it's just like they're a bunch of bums out there. No longer is Mike Tomlin. No longer is TJ Watt. No longer is Cam Hayward. No longer is Jalen Ramsey. Everybody was – remember when ESPN and people like Stephen A. Smith were just drooling when they traded for Jalen Ramsey. Now, all of a sudden, these are all bums because – the Packers went up against them. It's hilarious.
But Cowboys playoff win aside, that might have been the most complete performance that we've seen from J-Lo, right? 360 yards passing, 3 tutties. That was unbelievable. But the part that makes me believe in the Green Bay Packers is that defensively, they can make it happen. They identified what they needed for Jeff Hafley's unit, and they added it before the season in Micah Parsons. That group on Sunday night had 9 total pressures against Aaron Rodgers, 5 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks, despite Aaron Rodgers having a 2.77 average snap to throw time and only blitzing once in 39 dropbacks. If you can stop the run, if you can apply pressure with 4 without having to blitz, then all of a sudden you got the makings of a championship caliber defense.
Amen, man. When you can drop 7 into coverage, right, and still get pressure on the quarterback, now you're cooking. Keyron in the house. Good to see you, buddy. He says, I think there is a continuous argument to downplay the idea that Green Bay has done it again on having a great quarterback. Very well said. Perfectly said, Keyron. That's exactly what it comes down to. People cannot get their mind, especially Bears fans. They cannot get their mind around the idea that the Packers quite possibly could have just drafted the next Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, you notice I'm not like Jordan Love's Hall of Famer, Jordan Love's Hall of Famer. There's still a lot to be proven, right? But what you're seeing every single year is a stair-step process of getting better. Last year, what did he do well? He led his team to the playoffs while battling 3 injuries all year long, right? With the youngest roster in the league, which, by the way, he's doing it with the youngest roster in the league again this year, right? So, again, I'm with you, Keyron. I think that's exactly what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. People cannot stand the fact that the Packers probably have pulled it off again. I want to mention this. You guys that are on our Patreon group, I'm sure you already seen this, the game plan we put together. This is something we do every single week. It's a perk of being a member of our Patreon community. What we do is we go in, we deep dive the numbers, we deep dive the game tape, everything of the upcoming opponent, and we put together an offensive and defensive game plan geared around beating this week's opponent. Okay, you can check that out by joining our Patreon group, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. $3 gets you access to everything over there, all the chats, our draft board. We're about to unveil this next year's draft board, where you're going to be able to basically see us build that draft board in real time. It's going to be an absolute blast doing that. So we're already going to throw some names on that list that you're going to know who to look for here in the back half of the college football season as we get ready to get geared up for the next NFL draft. It's never too early to talk about draft season, that's for sure. But again, you can check that out, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You guys noticed in the game plan last week, what did we talk about? Anybody who watches this show, consistently, I am the most conservative fan on the face of the planet. I'm all about establish a run, protect the football. I don't care if you win by 1 point. Just make sure you get the dub. It ain't got to be pretty. It ain't got to be aggressive. But going into this week, look at what we had in the game plan here, guys. Step number 1, offensive game plan, passing attack. With the Steelers' pass defense vulnerable, the Packers should unleash Jordan Love in an aggressive aerial attack this Sunday. Ranked 21st in EPA per dropback allowed at plus 0.11, Pittsburgh struggles to disrupt timing routes. They also ranked 17th in yards per pass attempt, allowed at 6.6. Inviting big plays against coverage lapses, Love should look to put Pittsburgh on their heels early to set up the run game, being prepared to see mostly middle field close looks. Again, that play we just showed you to Christian Watson, middle field close. And you basically made the post safety become a conflict defender, what we call a conflict defender. He's got to make a decision. Do I lag back on Christian? Do I clamp down on Matthew Golden? He clamped down on Matthew Golden, and Jordan Love made you pay, even though the protection broke down and he had to roll out of the pocket. So, again, this is the type of stuff you get with our Patreon group. I just want to point that out. I thought that was cool that we called that. And you guys know how rare that is. Most of the time, step one in my offensive game plan is going to be building a case for establishing a run early. In this case, we were like, hey, we really need to be aggressive with the passing attack. And you heard Matt LaFleur say that afterwards, right? There's a video going out right now. I think it came from Inside the NFL. I think HBO does that, or Max, whatever the hell they're called nowadays. And they had some guys mic'd up. And as they were getting ready to go out on the field for the first series or whatever, Matt LaFleur goes to Jordan, he smacks him on the chest, and he goes, hey, trust yourself. He either said believe in yourself or trust yourself, something like that. And then in the post-game presser, what did Matt say? Yeah, I probably wanted to run the ball a little bit more, but Jordan was so hot, we just turned him loose. I was like, heck, if he's going to keep making plays like this, we're just going to keep passing the football. So, again, this kind of felt like Favre. Did it not? Did it not feel like back in the olden days when Mike Holmgren would just go, Brett, go out there and win the game. Let's go. Just be aggressive. You're going to make mistakes, right? But tonight, we're taking the reins off. That may not be the case against Carolina. They may have a different game plan. We'll dive into that and have the game plan ready for you about Friday or Saturday of this week on our Patreon page. But again, just thought that was really, really interesting how everything fell into place. Again, congratulations, Jordan Love, becoming the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's exciting stuff. Listen, guys, that's not just – you could probably count on one hand how many quarterbacks that you wouldn't consider great quarterbacks that's won that award. Right. So, again, does it mean, the Packers are winning the Super Bowl? No, it doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is when the stars align and you get just enough protection. And, oh, by the way, you get Christian Watson back. It's funny how people were trying to beat the Packers down while they were banged up. You're without your number one receiver from the last 2 years in Jaden Reed. You're without your biggest, fastest target in Christian Watson until this week. And then the first game, Christian Watson's back. He gets 4 targets, 4 catches, 80-some yards, whatever it was. And you've seen everything else open up. We also talked about Tucker Kraft in the game plan potentially having a big game because the linebacker play, the stackbacker play in their nickel defense with the Steelers was a little bit suspect, right? And what did you see? You see Tucker Kraft had a career game as well. So, again, absolutely awesome to see everything kind of fall into place. We got Holmes in the chat says totally a Holmgren Favre vibe for sure. Definitely more Holmgren and Favre vibe than McCarthy and Rodgers, right? It definitely feels more like the Favre one. And man, I love his demeanor. I love everything about how Jordan Love carries himself. I love that you can tell he genuinely cares about people. Not that Aaron or Brett or anybody else never did. I just love the way that Jordan approaches the game. You could tell his teammates adore him. You could tell that's probably one of the few players that Micah Parsons wanted to play with. And there's just something special happening in Green Bay, guys. I'm excited about it. So here's what I want to do, though. I want to hear from you guys in the comment. If you're watching this video back later, let me know in the comments, what did you think about Colin Cowherd and what he said? Is Jordan Love elite? What would you rank him? Like Carson Caldwell asked on Twitter, what would what does it take for him to be a top 5 quarterback? Maybe you don't see him as a top 5 quarterback. Maybe you see him as just outside of that ranking, right? Like when you're looking at passing yards, Jordan Love is ranked 9th with 1,798, right? When you go to passing touchdowns, Jordan Love's ranked 13th. So you're going, all right, man, that's pretty far away from top 5, right? However, with those touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, he's only got 2 interceptions on the year. Think about that. When you go to passer rating, when you dial in passer rating, Jordan Love has the 4th highest passer rating. When you go to yards per attempt, Jordan Love is 4th in yards per attempt. When you go to completion percentage, Jordan Love is 4th in completion percentage at 70.9%. Might I remind you, Aaron Rodgers' career completion percentage was 65%. So he's performing 5%, almost 6% higher than Aaron Rodgers' career average. That's just a wild statistic to me. I'm always going to bring that up. He's 7th in completion percentage over expected, one of the advanced metrics there, right? When you go to EPA, just in EPA, he's 4th in EPA at a positive 65.4. When you go to EPA per drop back, Jordan Love is second in EPA per drop back at plus 0.28, only behind Daniel Jones, who everybody's just blown away at how well he's playing this year. So when you take all of those statistics and throw them into a pot, I think you definitely got a top 5 quarterback, in my opinion. Excuse me, the cold's still hanging on. So I want to hear from everybody in the comments. Let me know what you think. Is Jordan Love top 5? Is he top 3? Is he top 10? Maybe you got him outside of the top 10. Listen, we can respectfully agree to disagree on this channel and in the comments, but we appreciate y'all voicing your opinion. Let us know in there, and also make sure you click subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. Like tonight, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We're going to start to dive into the Panthers game. We'll give you guys the updated injury report. The guys were out there practicing in the brown leather helmets today. It's going to be throwback week at Lambeau Field. It's going to be absolutely awesome. If we go live a few minutes late, I apologize in advance. I'm going to be on the NFC North Roundtable tonight, filling in for Basarski. Baz, I'm sure you guys are following his channel. Awesome content. So he's out of town. He asked me to fill in for him. So I'm going to be over there chatting it up with those guys, and hopefully we'll get done in time that I can hop right into the stream with our guys at 6 p.m. Central. But again, if we haven't gone live at exactly 6 p.m., it should just be a few minutes after. So again, look forward to seeing everybody in there tonight. Do me a favor, smash that like button on the way out. This is PTA. My name is Clayton. Go Pack.
Here we go.
We're out. Bye, guys.